Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a seriously fascinating, wildly ambitious blueprint for human survival and cosmic expansion. It all comes from Peter Boge's concept of the New World Order. We're going to be unpacking a framework known simply as the Hand, and it's basically an attempt to bridge our evolutionary past with a massive, utopian future out in the stars. Let's get into it.
Now, check out this philosophical hook straight from the source material. It translates to, there are no limits, and yet there are no limits. It's a total paradox, right? And it perfectly sets the stage for our journey today. We're talking about a concept that wrestles with the hard, physical constraints of our reality while simultaneously demanding this boundless, almost cosmic leap in human consciousness.
To make sense of this dense and symbol-rich vision, we're going to break our analysis down into 4 parts: blueprint for human survival, anatomy of the hand, the fist and cosmic expansion, and finally, analyzing the utopian vision.
Starting off with Part 1, Blueprint for Human Survival.
The author paints a pretty grim picture of where we're headed right now. The big warning here is that world capitalism, just by following its own inherent laws, is on a crash course to self-destruct. You combine that with humanity's current, totally dysfunctional relationship with nature, and we are staring down a massive systemic collapse. Basically, if we don't find a radical new direction, we risk losing everything and falling backward into a pre-Stone Age existence.
So how do we avoid that? Boge lays out a 3-step evolutionary path. Step 1 actually looks to our past, humanity achieving higher consciousness by using our hands as tools to literally grasp the world around us. Step 2 is about aligning with nature and achieving global, peaceful coexistence regardless of our ideologies. And Step 3? That takes us all the way to the stars, achieving optimal coexistence by expanding into the cosmos to take on brand new challenges.
All right, moving right along to Part 2, Anatomy of the Hand.
This is where the metaphor gets super specific, starting with the little finger. Now, it's the smallest digit, sure, but the text assigns it the massive role of expansion and cosmos. Why? Well, think about its anatomy. It has one side that is completely free. In this blueprint, that represents our inherent, boundless drive to push beyond our boundaries and literally reach for the stars.
Next up is the ring finger. This one represents nature and Earth. Think of it as the non-negotiable baseline of our entire ecosystem. It's the flourishing foundation that sustains absolutely everything we do. The text actually refers to it as the bride to humanity, representing a bond that we absolutely have to protect.
Then there's the middle finger. It stands the tallest, right smack in the center, and it symbolizes humanity itself. But we're not just passive bystanders here. In this model, humanity is centrally positioned as the intelligent creator and preserver of the environment. We hold the unique responsibility to shape our world while preserving that natural baseline we just talked about.
Moving on to the index finger, which acts as the system's moral compass, peaceful coexistence, the idea is that we use this finger to literally point away from anything that doesn't serve our universal purpose. The text makes the argument that deep down, ultimate peace is actually the end goal of all religions and ideologies, making it absolutely crucial for our survival.
And finally, we get to the thumb, representing maximum utilization. It's the strongest supporter of the whole hand. Honestly, without the thumb, the entire system just falls apart. It's the foundational strength we need to optimize the resources around us, everything from discovering fire back in the day to inventing modern machinery.
Which brings us perfectly to Part 3, the fist and cosmic expansion.
Here's where it all comes together. As the source text states, when all these fingers unite, they form a fist. Now, this isn't about aggression. It's a metaphor for an immense, unified global power. It's a system where every single element, expansion, nature, humanity, peace, and utilization is absolutely necessary. If even one finger fails, the whole thing just doesn't work.
So, with humanity united into this massive fist, where exactly do we go? Well, to prevent total collapse, we have to escape Earth's physical limits to find new, vast energy sources. And the blueprint points us straight up, specifically mining the asteroid belt near Mars. That, according to the author, is where we'll find the resources to keep human civilization advancing.
But here's the really wild part. To actually pull off this massive leap into the cosmos, the text outlines a staggering, highly specific economic target: 250 million new jobs. That is the practical, if incredibly ambitious, goal required to fuel this vision of space expansion and resource gathering.
Okay, let's unpack all of this in Part 4, analyzing the utopian vision. When you look critically at the hand metaphor, you start seeing some major philosophical friction. For instance, the little finger's demand for total freedom and expansion. How does that clash with the system's overall need for order? Or the middle finger putting humanity at the absolute center. Doesn't that kind of risk an arrogance that clashes with the ring finger's ecological needs? The source analysis points out that these are huge, unresolved contradictions built right into the model. And then there are the scientific gaps. The critique notes that the text relies on this idea that nature naturally moves toward a purposeful harmony, which isn't exactly how evolution works. Plus, that 250 million job target, it's deemed pretty arbitrary without real economic modeling. Oh, and the asteroid mining completely ignores the staggering cost of space travel right now. We're talking over $10,000 per kilogram just to get material into orbit. So we're left with this really stark contrast. On one hand, no pun intended, you have utopian idealism, this belief that a massive shift in human consciousness can essentially erase physical and material barriers. But on the other side is scientific reality. The critique makes it very clear that epistemological and physical limits, like the laws of thermodynamics, are very real. You can't just think your way out of the laws of physics.
The source analysis ultimately gives us a mixed verdict. It says the text shows remarkable creativity, a really genuine desire to shape the future, and a powerful central metaphor. But it remains highly speculative and utopian. It sort of assumes we can solve massively complex social and ecological problems just by grabbing resources from space, without really providing a practical roadmap for how to actually do it.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer. The material we've explored today is a fascinating mobilization of hope, but it definitely rubs up against the harsh friction of reality. So I'll leave you with this. Does uniting humanity into this proverbial fist actually give us the power to rewrite the laws of economics and physics? Or is this blueprint just the ultimate sci-fi fantasy? Thanks for hanging out with me for this breakdown, and keep questioning the limits of our future.